I don't know about you, but I'm in the mood for some sports.
Me too. I'm excited to see those homecoming highlights that Ben has. Ben?
Well, it was a great weekend for UNCW sports. I hope everyone came out to the homecoming game this past Saturday night. If you did, then you know the outcome, but if not, then pay special attention to our very own Nicole Owita, who covered the game for us.
I'm here at UNCW's Trask Coliseum for tonight's big homecoming game. The Seahawks come into the game 13-14, and a win will put them at 500 for the season. It's a Big South CAA matchup with bragging rights on the line. Let's go on in and see what they have in store for us. To start the highlights, Keith Rendelman passes to Ahmad Grant and makes a three-pointer. Grant then passes to Chad Tomko, who makes another three-pointer to tie up the game with 37 seconds left in the first half. Tomko then dodges a defender, draining yet another 3 points. Grant drives the lane for an easy layup, adding another 2 points to the Seahawks score. Daryl Felder then passes down low to Matt Wilson, who posts up for an easy lay off the glass. Tomko fakes right, goes left, passes down low to Rendelman, who puts it up for an easy 2 points. Unfortunately, as the Seahawks finish up their homecoming Big South CAA matchup, Coach Buzz Peterson's 400th game of his career didn't turn out quite like he wanted it to.
They were just much more aggressive than we were tonight. I thought they got every loose ball. They really got us on the boards. I thought tonight, going into the game, we had an advantage there, inside play, and we tried to establish inside play, but never got it going. So
the final score was 63-58, Charleston Southern. Chad Tomko lobbed 21 points and 3 steals, while Keith Rendelman had 12 points and 9 rebounds, 4 of which were on the offense. I'm Nicole Owita, Seahawks Central News, Teal TV.
Thanks, Nicole. Rendelman also had 4 blocks in the contest. Charleston Southern took an incredible 61 shots from the floor, only making 34% of them. That was the second game of the week for the men's team. The first was Tuesday night's attempt to slay the Drexel Dragons. To the highlights we go.
Starting in the first half, Keith Rendelman has the ball, jukes the defender, then makes the sweet jump shot from 15 feet away. Rendelman again here just spots up and swishes the jump shot. He's really showing his range as of late. They made the score 15-14. To the second half we go. Chad Tomko with the ball, makes some separation, drains the 16-footer. Then Tomko again sidesteps the defender, gives it to Rendelman, who makes the nice jump shot at the buzzer. Both coaches said that this was the key play to the game, and it made the score 43-40 with just a minute and 30 left. Tomko, the nice layup there on the fast break to make it 45-40 with a minute 6 remaining. Then Matt Wilson with the put-away dunk, put it away. The game's over. Slam jam. Thank you, ma'am.
The final score was UNCW 51, Drexel 43. The Seahawks shot 50% in the second half in the crucial victory over the 17-9 Dragons. Coach Peterson spoke after the game.
But we're very fortunate to get this win. I've told our guys one game at a time and keep believing in yourself, believing in your teammates, and good things can happen. So I'm just very happy that our seniors are very involved in what we're doing right now and winning some games.
Moving on to the Lady Seahawks, came into the week reeling off of 2 losses in their last 3 games. This week was all about raising funds for the K-Yow Breast Cancer Awareness Fund, named after the late NC State head coach. Their first game of the week was against Georgia State last Thursday at Trask Coliseum. To the highlights.
Coach Cooper Dyke's crew came ready to play even from the start, where Alicia Andrews drains the first of her incredible 5 3-pointers. Then Martha White with a turnaround jump shot in the lane. That's good. We move on to Andrews, who loses the dribble and then tips it to Brittany Blackwell, who makes the nice lay-in and then hustles down the court. Then Treasure Johnson finds Andrews, who is wide open for the fast break layup. You don't see that often. Then Martha White in the post. Look at this post presence. The left-handed runner in the lane. Bank shot. It's good. Then White to Blackwell, drops the pass, picks it back up, then swings it around for the right-hander. White one more time in the lane for the fader. That was a 2, but the Seahawks shot 54% from 3, led by Alicia Andrews, 80%.
The Lady Hawks continued their winning ways on Sunday with a 48-33 trouncing over Northeastern. The trip back to Boston had to be a cold one for the Huskies, who had 28 turnovers in the contest. Normally, I would rattle off statistics here, but as Bill Simmons correctly points out in his novel, The Book of Basketball, the secret to winning a championship is unselfishly playing as a team. And Coach Cooper Dyke has had her club playing that way all season, on the way to a 12-3 mark in the conference and a 20-6 mark overall. They are currently 22nd in the CollegeInsider.com Top 25 Mid-Major poll. CAA leader James Madison is 8th. They face Towson on the road on Thursday before returning home for senior night versus George Mason. Switching sports, the UNCW baseball team had their season opener at home this past weekend against Jacksonville University. The Seahawks won the first game on Friday by an astounding 20-7. Leadoff man Michael Bass went 3 for 5 with 3 RBI, and third baseman Matt Campbell went 2 for 4 with 4 RBI and 3 runs. Justin Bradley picked up the W on the mound, allowing just 2 earned runs on 5 hits in 5 innings. Saturday, however, the Seahawks lost 7-6 and fell Sunday 9-1 after going into the final inning tied at 1. Full statistics and post-game reactions can be found online at uncwsports.com. The Seahawks play again at home this weekend in the Hughes Brothers Tire Challenge at Brooks Field. Game times are Friday and Saturday at 4 p.m. and Sunday at 1:30 p.m. And that is all from a great week of UNCW Seahawks sports action. Oh, and one more thing. 20-year-old Trevor Bain won the Daytona 500 in a Wood Brothers-owned car that was given an old-school paint job reminiscent of the team's last Daytona 500 victory in 1976. That was by David Pearson, 15 years before Bain was born. Have a great week.
A professor at UNCW was part of a research group in Belize that found what was thought to be an extinct bird. Jamie Rottenberg, professor of environmental studies, was among the researchers who found the first active nest of harpy eagles in Belize history. The find turned up 2 adults and 1 baby eagle. These birds are large and tend to feed on monkeys and sloths. Deforestation has caused the harpy eagle population to significantly decrease. Researchers are unclear at this time why the birds are nesting in the area.
UNCW is looking to make another record-setting donation during this year's Day of Service. This is an annual food drive put on by the UNC Staff Assembly. With the help of the Wilmington community, the university would like to triple its previous donation. From February 1st through 28th, students and Wilmington residents are encouraged to bring non-perishable foods to Randall Library and Ditto's Print Shop, located in the Fisher University Union. UNCW holds last year's contribution record, donating over 2,800 pounds of food to local agencies. The success of last year's campaign led the UNC Staff Assembly to extend the event from a day to an entire month. They hope to reach their goal of 8,500 pounds before February ends.
We've got a special guest with us today. Professor Jerry Bagnell with the Communication Studies Department will sit down with reporter Rachel Nagel in this week's Professors Exposed.
Good evening and welcome to Professors Exposed. I'm your host, Rachel Nagel, and this is Professor Jerry Bagnell. He is a teacher in the Communication Studies Department. Could you elaborate on what you do on campus?
Sure. I teach courses in mediation and conflict management. I teach another one in negotiation.
Okay, and what specifically do you focus on in conflict management and negotiation?
Well, we combine the theory underlying the principles with a great number of role plays, most of which relate to student issues. Some of them are roommate issues. Some of them relate to violence in dating relationships. And students tend to find them interesting, I think, because they relate to their real life. It's not just dry textbook stuff.
Right. You mentioned the dating relationships and violence. Is that something that you find relatable among your students because it happens within that demographic specifically?
It does. In fact, the greatest number of people that will find themselves being victims of sexual assault are freshmen in college. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they're new, they're away from home for the first time, they don't know who to trust, and they're easily exploited.
Do you think that that has anything to do with statistically the amount of alcohol or partying that goes on campus?
Well, there's a lot of research that says there's a very high correlation between 3 things and dating violence.
What are those 3 things?
The first one is alcohol, the second one is fraternity membership, and then the third one is participation in athletics.
And is that basically statistically about males?
No, there's the same dynamic in sororities as well. It's kind of a group think thing, if you will. Everybody tries to please their peers.
Right.
And kind of get into that, whatever you want to call it, peer pressure kind of mode.
Now, have you had any students come up to you and say, this is exactly what I'm experiencing, this relates to my life?
It's happened to me at least once every semester in the 7 years I've been here. We had a student that stood up in the middle of class and interrupted the class and said, please pay attention, this is happening to me. And it's very moving when that happens.
I understand that that same student was recognized by the chancellor for speaking out against domestic violence.
She was, and the chancellor attended that class and I think was very moved to find out that the student had the moral courage to stand up and admit that, because she was somewhat of a celebrity on campus. She was the co-captain of the UNCW dance team.
Have you experienced any similar circumstances with any other students after teaching your class that they've come up to you and said, this is exactly what I'm going through?
Some do while they're here on campus, but I think the most gratifying thing is to hear from them after they've graduated, when they say, thank you for the things that I learned in class. And I think it's more important for students to learn how to do things than just talk about them.
Do you find that the information that you're teaching your students enables them to become more of an adult in the real world as they're going through the college process, because they're learning how to negotiate in circumstances all across the board?
Well, we negotiate something every day, whether it's ordering food in WAG or whether it's arguing with somebody over a parking space.
On behalf of Seahawk Central News and TLTV, I would like to thank you, Professor Bagnall, for joining us today for Professors Exposed. I'm Rachel Nagel for Seahawk Central News, TLTV. Back to you, Kara.
Thanks, Rachel. That wraps it up for this edition of Seahawk Central News. Special thanks to the Communications Studies Department, UNCW TV, and the Wilmington Costco for making our show a reality.
Even more thanks to Bill Denome and Dustin Miller. Check out the latest edition of the Seahawk at newsstands all over campus. Remember, you can keep up with Seahawk Central News by stopping by youtube.com/TLTV2010. I'm Janae Randall.
And I'm Kara Trotter, saying so long, Seahawks.